Good evening and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. We have a significant development in labor law to share with you tonight. The House of Representatives has passed the Faster Labor Contracts Act, a bill aimed at speeding up the negotiation process for first contracts between employers and newly formed unions. This piece of legislation has been a major point of discussion among labor groups, populists, and Republican leadership. The bill, which passed with the support of several GOP rebels who joined Democrats, seeks to impose shorter timelines for these negotiations. Under the proposed law, employers would be required to begin contract negotiations within 10 days of workers voting to unionize. If no agreement is reached after 90 days, either party can bring in the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. Should there still be no agreement after another 30 days, a 3-member arbitration panel would step in to settle the dispute, considering factors such as the employer's financial status, employees' cost of living, and industry standards. Labor leaders have hailed this move as one of the most significant new protections for workers since before World War II, emphasizing its potential to hold corporate America accountable for prolonging negotiations and denying workers their first union contracts. On the other hand, opponents, including some in the business community, have described the measure as draconian and an example of government overreach, arguing that it could be detrimental to employers, employees, and the economy. It's also worth noting that the bill faces uncertain prospects in the Senate, although it does enjoy the support of several Republicans. The expedited timeline for contract negotiations and the potential for government-imposed contracts have raised concerns about the practicality and fairness of such an approach, given the complexity of union contracts and the current capacity of the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. As we delve into this story further, it's clear that the implications are multifaceted, touching on issues of worker rights, corporate responsibility, and the role of government in labor disputes. We will continue to follow the developments of the Faster Labor Contracts Act as it moves through the legislative process. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we continue to bring you updates from around the world, a pressing health concern has been unfolding in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Ebola outbreak, which was announced on May 15th, has seen a significant rise in confirmed cases, with the latest numbers indicating nearly 600 cases, including 115 deaths. This outbreak is particularly challenging due to its spread across 3 provinces, Ituri, North Kivu, and South Kivu, areas that have long been affected by armed conflict. The Bundibugyo strain of Ebola has presented health authorities with a daunting task, as the outbreak went undetected for weeks, putting them behind the curve in their efforts to bring it under control. Despite these challenges, there are glimmers of hope, with 22 patients having recovered from the disease. However, the situation remains critical, with new cases being reported and concerns about the spread of the disease to more health zones. One of the most significant hurdles in combating this outbreak has been mistrust and resistance among the local population. There have been reports of attacks on burial teams and treatment centers, which not only endanger the lives of healthcare workers but also hinder the response efforts. Furthermore, medics are facing shortages of basic equipment necessary to protect themselves and prevent further spread of the disease. The international community has begun to take notice, with the International Rescue Committee calling for urgent funding to contain the outbreak in Ituri province before it spreads further. This appeal comes at a critical time, especially as the world prepares for the World Cup, an event that will bring together people from all over the globe, potentially increasing the risk of international spread. In response to these concerns, the U.S. has urged Europe to consider imposing travel bans to mitigate the risk of Ebola spreading beyond the affected regions. This move highlights the global nature of health security and the need for coordinated international responses to public health crises. As we follow this developing story, it's a stark reminder of the complexities and challenges involved in managing outbreaks in conflict-affected areas. The interplay between health, security, and community trust is delicate, and addressing these issues will be crucial in bringing the Ebola outbreak under control. Welcome back to Barbarous Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring to your attention a developing story that has significant implications for global security. The United Kingdom has introduced new legislation aimed at countering the growing threat of foreign state-backed hostile activities on its soil. This move comes in response to an increasing number of incidents involving assassination attempts, surveillance, and sabotage carried out by proxies hired by hostile foreign powers. The proposed law would enable the government to designate certain organizations as state threats if they are involved in such activities, making it a criminal offense to support or assist these groups. This development is particularly noteworthy given recent convictions of individuals spying on behalf of China, carrying out attacks for Russian mercenary groups, and stabbing an opposition journalist on behalf of Iran. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer emphasized the need for consequences when foreign states engage in activities that threaten lives or undermine democratic institutions. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood underscored the evolving nature of these threats, with foreign states becoming more aggressive and using proxies to hide their tracks. The international community is also weighing in on this issue. In a joint statement, the United States, Australia, European allies, and other countries condemned Iran-backed groups' plots to kill Iranian dissidents, journalists, and Jewish communities. They called for an immediate halt to these actions, citing the undermining of national sovereignty and international norms. As we consider these developments, it's essential to recognize the complexities of global security in the modern era. The use of proxies and clandestine operations by foreign states poses significant challenges to national and international law enforcement agencies. The introduction of this legislation in the UK and the joint statement from allied nations signal a concerted effort to address these threats and protect citizens from hostile activities. That's all for today's Barbarous Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.